So, Akhil, something about Yukti. I think that is also a program like no other, and that has impacted so many young students positively, and not only from the biggest of the universities or from the biggest of the cities, but from the smaller towns of the country as well. So, tell us something about that. What you've done so far, and what are the plans ahead?
So this also comes from a story. And the
Mm-hmm.
story is, our phones. We are all on LinkedIn.
Right.
And every day we receive so many messages that, I am a student of so and so college. I am in my fourth year or my final year or my third year. I am looking for an internship. Sir, can you give me an internship in your organization? I would like to work with you in your company. And when you go back with that request to your company, the company has very limited opportunity. Hardly one seat, two seat, or in some companies there is no legal internship. So the question is, what do you tell the students? Should you tell the student that there is no internship and end of discussion, or whether you contribute to their cause, you feel their pain, you feel their distress, and then you do something about it. So that is the feeling all of us had, all 30 members, and we said that let's create a platform where a student, बिना किसी सिफारिश के, without any recommendation, they can come to this GCI forum and say that I want to do an internship, a corporate internship with GCAI, and can I get a seat? So, without any recommendation, are we giving them a platform that every January we will do a Yukti program? So that was the starting point of our thinking. And then what we thought was, if there are limitations within an organization to offer internship, why don't we all get together, hire a venue, and then do something about the students? So that was step two. Step three, when we started to develop the agenda, and because the GCs are so well connected, within the industry, within the government, within the judiciary, with the senior advocates, with who's and who. So this is our hidden power. It's like a power of a Hanumanji. Hanumanji did not know how powerful he was till the time he was tested. And when he got up, and then all of us GCs thought that this is the power within us. Why not let us all harness this power and create a platform? And this is exactly what happened. So, in the Yukti program, we hired Dr. Ambedkar International Center because of our sponsors. So, because of our foreign firms, because the foreign firms believed in us, and they said that it's a wonderful idea. So, one of the things which we did was this Nyaya Nirman, and then we said that as a part of Nyaya Nirman, please also sponsor us for our Yukti program. And I can't believe you, it was perhaps in a minute of days, we got approval that let's do this. And then we developed the agenda. And this Yukti program, what we also do, Aman, as a part of GCAI, we do a lot of memorandum of understanding, MOUs with law schools in the country. So that we had already developed. So we reached out to these universities and we told them that, we want to create a internship program. Are you going to send your students? So they said that if you give us a firm agenda, because they were also not convinced, because this was never done before.
Because I think it is a very new concept of general counsels initiating something like that.
Yes,
So I mean, I'm sure people would have taken time to understand that, like, what it is happening. Yeah,
100%. And that is exactly what
yeah,
they said. Will you guys be able to do this?
yeah,
So we said, this has never been done before, we'll try.
yeah.
And then, we were able to get 70 people, 70 experts, including the law minister, including the Minister of Corporate Affairs, including Rajya Sabha member, and then about 70 people from the corporate. We developed this internship program into 5 or 6 industry segments, which includes aviation, which includes automobile, which includes ITES business, and then international arbitration, which was personally delivered by these foreign firms. And then, we had the judges from the Supreme Court, and then it was, a kind of a tsunami. And then, the university started to get to us, and they said, I am sending 20 students, I am sending 15 students. we got that. And then,
So
when
these
we
universities, like, tell me something about those
yeah
universities.
so
Where all they
yeah
are
so
from?
yeah so these universities are from all across India. So we have students from University of Kashmir, we have students from Bangalore, we have students from not only NLS but also other universities. Then we have students from Patiala, we have
Wow.
students from Meerut, we have students from Jodhpur. And then, what we did was that when we got these student profiles from these universities, the first thing we did was we shuffled them, and we ensured that no student, and we divided them into 10 groups, 119 students, 10 groups, and each group had students from different universities. And I cannot tell you, when we were doing these Yukti sessions, and when these students were coming on stage and speaking, all of them had to come to stage and speak on some topic or the other. You could not say whether this student is from NLS or this student is from Meerut or this student is from Kashmir, because we ensured an environment in our Yukti program where, like a courtroom, what matters most is how you perform before a judge.
Right.
It doesn't matter which university you come from. And that is the power we were able to create in this Yukti program. And, Yukti will be done every year in January. We have a tremendous support from our sponsors. Our vision is to go global. We are also thinking that because internship is not an India problem only. Internship is a global problem. Wherever you go, students, they write to us that I am from so and so international university. Can we get an internship in India? So we want to create a global platform, where student without recommendation, बिना किसी सिफारिश के, which happens in other internships where you are getting jobs only on a sifarish, you're getting only internship on a sifarish. We want to kill all that. And then we want to create an environment for the student where they come face to face with the Minister of Law, where they come face to face with the Minister of Corporate Affairs. The Rajya Sabha members, student get a direct FaceTime is something which our Yukti program has created. And in the previous question segment, you asked about creating, document, how we document this. So this entire Yukti program, which we delivered in January of this year, we are coming up with a volume set, which we will inaugurate on our 11th September event. So we will tell the world that a corporate program of GCAI should create an intellectual property every year of what students learned. So every session was recorded, every session was decrypted. The students of Yukti, they edited each day's session, which is now being compiled into a volume set, and that will be presented to the Honorable Law Minister and the Honorable Corporate Affairs Minister. And we will request them that please make a recommendation to the Bar Council of India that students who are learning from law firms should also be able to generate a volume set like this, because this is what they should learn in every internship, not only GCI.
I will just add a couple of points on this. One of the thought which was going in our mind was that a person should not be disentitled to undergo this internship only because he is coming from B grade colleges or C grade colleges, so called, quote unquote, or his communication is poor because he is coming from some remote areas. So our briefing was very clear that not necessarily a good communicator or a person from a good law school should be part of this program. In fact, we wanted this to be so inclusive that people from all parts of the country should be joining this. In the background, our idea and thought was that going forward, the legal services would be largely dependent on AI. So essentially, it means that AI would be taking lot of work from some of the young lawyers who are largely operating in, say, metropolitan cities and all that. But then we realized that AI would be the right kind of platform. The use of AI would lead to democratization of services. So, for example, a person who is sitting in some remote areas in Assam, he can also use AI and provide legal services. So, in the backdrop, there were two objectives. One is use of AI would lead to democratization of services, and for that we need to educate and develop a skill of those people who would be relevant in the times to come, because they can, while sitting there, and for that you need to expose them with the new legislative drafting and so on. So you are exposing them to all this, and so they would be capable of delivering legal services. And there was a second aspect, Aman, which is very important. Today, legal services are not available across the board. You will be amazed that there are nearly, say, a million or 1.5 million enterprises. They are not in a position to avail legal services because the lawyers and advocates who are practicing in the remote areas, they don't know corporate laws and corporate issues, because they are largely focused on criminal issues or the civil laws. The people or the law firms who are operating in these parts of the world in terms of metro areas, etc., they have a fixed clients and their fee structure is so large that uh, these kinds of enterprises cannot afford that. But then with AI, democratization of services, we would be developing a structure whereby all people across the board, all business world, that would be, the legal services would be available to them. So this is what our thoughts are. This is how we are thinking about it, and we think that gradually we may achieve this.
And any plans of taking this global?
We have already gone global, Aman. We have already gone global. The London event was a global event. We are the internship program, of course. So we are already in talks with some of the universities have already shown interest in terms of joining hands. You can explain that also.
Yeah, so we are thinking whether our preference was definitely Dubai, because Dubai has a lot of value, but given the geopolitical situation today, it is still what we are thinking. The second option that we are working on with some of the leading law firms internationally is whether we can have the next Yukti hub in Singapore, because there is a lot of interest of the Western European universities and in the India, Middle East, and Africa and Southeast Asia, that they want to learn about the emerging markets. So if you really go to these foreign universities, some of them, they run a program on emerging markets. So the concept that we are developing is it should not only be a legal internship, but it should be a neutral internship where you have
It's a business problem
yeah,
and
so
business
business
come
problems,
legal kind
yes,
of a thing.
negotiation, mediation, arbitration, business. So a lawyer, who is practicing in a court, or a lawyer who is working in a corporate sector, and somebody who's very keen to learn, how the economy is driven, how the business is driven, is something we will like to offer that as a part of the internship program. So the student is not only confined to a stream of law, we are still developing the concept, but we have got a very encouraging response. And it will take a little while to develop this, but the thought is very, very clear. The vision and what we have started to do a visualization is very clear. That if we are able to establish it, I think it is going to be a game changer in terms of how we upskill and prepare students of tomorrow, whether in any part of the world they may be, and then they should be able to learn directly. So, to give you an example, so many people do these, top American universities or top European universities advanced management programs, the AMPs, and those AMPs are taught by international professionals, people who are working in those international corporations.
Right,
Why can't we do the same?
right.
We can do the same. And then we tie up with the universities and tell them that this is the program that we are conducting. We are going to do an MOU with you. You send your student and at an international location. This is all possible. We have done it in India. So now we know what it takes. What is the curriculum we need to make?
Right,
And we can do that internationally also.
right. In fact, now in the interest of students, one or two follow-up questions is that um, what is the process of application to these kind of internship programs to all this, students sitting, out there in different parts of the country? Number two, is it like, which year student is you are kind of, taking into that internship program? How do you select people there?
So the selection process, especially on Yukti for India, what we did was we reached out to the universities, our MOU partners,
Okay.
and we told them that screening is your call, because we cannot have a program where we get involved in the selection of the student. So the broader metric is it should be a final year student or a fourth year student, and then you select which student is interested in our curriculum, because that is
Right.
also important. Because
Right.
the first question which we were asked by the national law schools was, send us your program outline, and then we will put it across the student committee, and then the student committee will evaluate whether they see a value. And thankfully many students saw a lot of value. And then, we went there, we spoke to the universities, we gave them presentations like National Law University Delhi, National Law University Bangalore, Patiala, Meerut University. We reached out to all of them and we spoke to their faculty, and that is how we generated interest.
Right. So,
Likewise, the same pattern we will follow internationally.
okay. So basically, essentially, it is nominated by your MOU partner
Yes.
universities.
Yes.
So, all the students, you check whether your college or university is, has an MOU with the GCAI or not. And if not, then you should actually ask your faculty or your dean to get in touch and, get an MOU signed with
So
GCAI.
MOU is not compulsory. So
Okay.
for example, CLC, Campus Law Center Delhi, we don't have an MOU.
Okay.
For example, with University of Kashmir, we do not have an MOU.
But it is like the nomination by the college itself.
Correct.
Students cannot apply on their own.
In this program, no.
Okay.
But then we did receive some applications where we did not have, an MOU, but the students reached out to us. Can we do this program? We said you are welcome. So we had a limit of 100. We added 20 seats.
Yeah, that was my question. In fact, would you be kind of, opening some seats for direct nomination by
Yes.
students, because they may be sitting in some other remote part of the country and the
100%.
colleges are not.
Normally we do, but then there's one limitation also, because in terms of you don't have the infrastructure, because at times the physical infrastructure I'm talking about, you need to be maintaining physical infrastructure for a month for those many students. It becomes limitation, and then that issue comes up, of course, the funding part also, in terms of it's all incurs a lot of cost also, because we are not charging from students, by the way. Let me clarify on this. So we are not charging because we believe, and in fact we are paying them. Some projects works and all that, we are paying them. So I think so that makes us distinct, and so that's the reason why this would be a limitation in the times to come.
So in a year's time, how many internships would open? About 120 is what you said?
120.
120. Where 20 is basically where people can self-nominate themselves, and
Yes.
100 coming from the.
Yeah, but there's no hard and fast rule, so to say, no hard and fast, because, look, Aman, if somebody comes to you with this kind of interest, would I be ignoring that? Because for me, passion is so important. That if a person is coming with that passion, now whether he is connected with the university or not, it is immaterial to me.
And another dimension of Yukti, I can tell you is, we have these MOUs with, say, for example, Singapore Arbitration, SIAC.
SIAC.
SIAC. We have with ICC. So we do a lot of joint programs with them where we collaborate with them, we give them share our logo. Now we are ensuring that they reserve at least 20 to 30 seats for our Yukti students.
Brilliant.
What we are also doing is so that students get a direct learning at these international events. Then the third thing that we are doing is we are tying up with some top audit companies, the top 4. And we are also doing programs like forensic sciences. For example, distress balance analysis of a distressed business, analysis of financial statements of a distressed business. These are the type of topics which no law school trains you on, but it is very relevant in business. So we are now doing, and you will hear soon, we will announce very shortly that we are launching this program where a top audit firm will take X number of students every quarter on a rolling basis, and these Yukti students will learn going to the top audit firm.
So, which essentially means what? that they would be understanding valuation, forensic sciences, forensic studies, and so on. And all these are relevant as far as our legal sphere is concerned.
Yeah, of course, this is
And the
very,
law
very
firms are not,
relevant. Yeah.
law schools are not teaching this.
And so, which essentially means that it's not just that 1 month, it is further engagement as well on some of these platforms.
Yeah, so this is going to be a 3 months program. They will be paid stipend.
And it's a significant amount, much, much, much better than many of the lawyers after 5 years of completion they can't earn.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so that is what we are.
Lawyer internship is very, much talked about,
So-
how much they are paid
So
and all
Aman,
of
that
that.
is one stream which we can develop. So one top audit firm has agreed to work with us. Likewise, we can work different streams with other big four or big five, and we can develop another stream of training. And this is also be going to be under Yukti only.
Perfect, sir. Thank you so much for being here, and all the very best to General Counsel Association of India and all its initiatives in future. So that was Dr. Akhil Prasad and Sanjeev Gemawat with us on this very special podcast of LawWiser. Stay tuned, and we will be bringing in more insights from them in future on the developments that happen at GCAI. Thank you.
Thank you very much.